Hey everybody, my name is Edgar Palacios, and basically I am starting a podcast about movies. For those of you who know me already, you know I really, really like movies. And I just wanted to start a small podcast by myself. Nothing too big a deal, hopefully. In my mind, uh, I see it more like if you like movies and or you just finished watching a movie out of the theater or on Netflix and you really want to talk to someone about it and you have no one to talk about it with, or the people that you know will probably get bored to death by you talking about it. Because that happens to me a lot. I either have no one to talk to or the people around me I know I don't bother with because I'm like, man, I don't want to be that guy who talks about like 2 hours straight about such and such movie. This won't be 2 hours long, nor will future episodes, at least not that I plan to. Um, so what this basically will be, is a podcast where I will every now and then review movies that I watch, preferably new movies. I don't want to go through the entire catalog of films that I've seen, but depending on how well received this goes, or based on public reactions or requests, I might. Um, but I basically want to talk about movies and review them as I watch them, um, and every now and then have a guest or two, friends of mine who like movies or watch movies when I go to the theaters with them. And then I suppose talk about important news as it happens. The Oscars is coming up. I'll probably talk about the Oscars, make my predictions, and then talk about the aftermath of the night when it happens. Um, but that's basically it. I know a podcast with one person might not sound like the most fun thing, but honestly, I end up that ends up happening a lot in my life, at least. Like when I watch streamers or when I hear someone talking, it could be one person, it could be five. It just feels like I'm hanging out with a group of friends when I listen to a streamer or someone else talk. Um, and also, I just need a place to vent out my my pent up uh, information, references, and movie knowledge that I constantly have to hold down and suppress. Um, so, well, yeah, we'll see. We're gonna have fun. Just start off this episode, just so I don't have a straight up announcement. I'll tell you my top five films that I'm really looking forward to this year. So let's get started with that real for this first episode, just to get some a taste of I don't know what it is. Oh, before we get into that, I am a film student. I do hope to be in the professional world of Hollywood one day as a writer, as a director, cinematographer, what have you. Or maybe that won't happen, but just I'm not just a guy who likes movies. I also hope to make them. I think of myself as a creator, so I have a lot of ideas, so hopefully one of these days, one way or another, as a book, as a script, as a film, as a YouTube video, as a skit, whatever it is, hopefully one day I make something and enough people see it, and I feel like I put out my vision 100%, and people like it. And hopefully I manage to make money that way because I don't want to be doing a 9 to 5 or I don't know, working as a waiter or a server, bartender, or in an office job, what have you. I want to work in something creative, and I really like movies, and I feel like this field would be perfect for me. At least that is the way I see it right now. So I don't have a lot of experience. I'm not like the expert go-to guy. Like, oh, so you know how everything works in movies? No, I'm still learning. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like I have a certain understanding of what it takes to get a film. I've already had a short film made. Thankfully, I've had that experience. So it was really fun and very tiresome and excruciatingly exhausting. So I know what it takes just to get 5 minutes of film all put together and then somehow make it happen. So I feel like I already as the years go on, or as the months, or however long this podcast goes on for, I have some understanding of what it takes to be a creator. Uh, and I feel like I have a good understanding when it comes to themes, when it comes to how a camera moves on the screen, what a director intends to convey when it comes to ideas, emotions. Uh, I've worked. I've worked. I had some experience as an actor in high school, in Little Ava High School, so I know, and I hang out with. I have actor friends, so that's just. It's safe to assume that I dabbled here and there in the creative space of film. So and it won't stop there. So I'm really excited. Also, I feel like I'd be a perfect person to have a podcast in a sense. At least I should reassure you that you could trust me. At least I think you should, because I'm not a normie MCU film bro enjoyer when it comes to movies. That's not all I enjoy, and I'm also not going to be a pretentious, stuck-up critic who only watched, I don't know, the French New Wave or any black and white film that came out. Like if it's been the past 20 years, uh, if it came out in the past 20 years, I'm not watching it. Or cinema died with, I don't know, Schindler's List, or Jurassic Park, or whatever. So I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. I feel like when I hear someone say, "Oh, my favorite movies in the whole entire world are Fast and the Furious," no, that's one thing. To say your favorite movies are a certain thing is one thing, but to say that the best movies ever coming out of the MCU, that's a stretch. I think it's a stretch there. And but then again, when someone goes on and on, like for like 3 hours talking about the introspective themes, or I don't know, something, you know what I'm talking about. I feel like some people can get a bit ahead of themselves, and you can get too stuck up. I feel like, as you can already tell, I'm not the most articulate person, but at the same time, I feel like I feel like I have a good grasp on understanding how movies work. Um, that being said, I'm your guy if you want to hear someone talk about movies. So let's quickly jump into back to what I wanted to get into. Top five films that I'm looking forward to this year, 2025. There are a lot of movies. I'm surprised how many movies, uh, at least that I plan to watch. Hopefully, I need to get back into watching a lot more movies. I didn't see a lot in theaters last year compared to the year before in 2023. Um, I also don't believe that movies are dead. I mean, we're going through a really weird transition. Streaming services are rising up, and then people aren't able to afford going to the movies, but they're not dead. Oppenheimer proved that. Top Gun Maverick proved that. There's people, and The Brutalist is proving that. People want to see movies. People want to see movies that are long. People want to see movies that have big budget that doesn't require like superheroes or science fiction per se. We're seeing big directors with big ideas yet grounded storytelling in terms of like how realistic it is. So I don't think movies are dead. I feel like there's still a lot to look forward to, and a lot of it, a good amount of it, is original. So it's not just MCU slop, in my opinion. That although that is a lot what we see because they're the ones with the loudest voices. Disney, Marvel, Warner Brothers, Universal, what have you. All the big IP franchises are like the ones you're going to notice because they're the ones with the most marketing advantages, and you see them everywhere. You can't escape it, and that's not a bad thing per se. There's a lot of good things that they're gonna make that I'm looking forward to. So we'll see. Top five films I'm looking forward to. Number one, I think honestly, it's gonna be Mickey 17, directed by Bong Joon Ho. Uh, for those of you who don't know, he directed Parasite. He also directed Snowpiercer, and he also directed. I want to say I hadn't seen all his movies. Yeah, but he's a great director. Memories of a Murder, I haven't seen that yet. Okja was the one I saw, yeah, on Netflix too. Uh, and The Host, I haven't seen. I still need to watch that. Also, I haven't seen every movie, so there's a lot of classics out there, and there's a lot of big ones that you'll be like, Edgar, how can you have not seen that? I'm still getting there, but I've seen a lot of movies. But that makes it more exciting to me because I haven't seen every movie in the world because that would be a sad world to live in where there's nothing new for me to watch. So every now and then, I'm gonna get to him. Um, but Bong Joon-ho is a director that I will not watch anything he puts out. No. Stars Robert Pattinson. Um, the premise is that in a futuristic society, either in space or on different planets, a company uses expendables basically to do dangerous jobs, and every time they die, they remake a version of them. And Robert Pattinson's putting on a fun voice that he normally doesn't have. That's really fun. He's a really good actor. He's also a good voice actor. He was in The Boy and the Heron, and he is in his prime right now, like really in his prime. I mean, and he was really getting there even before the Batman. He was in Happy Times or Good Times. I heard good things about them. Yeah, Good Time. Um, yeah, he was also in Good Time. My cousin recommended me to watch that. He's also in that really good. That's on Max. But Mickey 17 that comes out in March. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm gonna see it in IMAX. I don't know if it was filmed for IMAX, but I know they're marketing it in IMAX. Sometimes they do that for artistic films, but just because they saying will be shown or screened in IMAX does not mean it's filmed in IMAX. If this filmed for IMAX, that most likely means it was filmed with IMAX cameras. I don't know how Captain America: Brave New World will look. It says filmed for IMAX, but I don't know if it used IMAX cameras. It can get confusing with it. I'll look it up and I'll explain it later. But Mickey 17 definitely the most anticipated film of the year for me, even though it's going to come out so soon. But after that, I have to say it's going to be Superman. Superman is really snuck up on me. I was kind of excited. Actually, once I started watching Creature Commandos, the DC show created and written and showrunner James Gunn. Once I started watching that, I was like, I already trusted him with the MCU. All Guardians of the Galaxy films, all three of them, absolute bangers, some of the best of the MCU films. Um, so I already trusted him, but I had no idea how he'd be able to handle DC characters, and I wasn't skeptical. I'm not, I didn't doubt him really, but I wasn't super like, yeah, he's a good guy. James Gunn. I feel like he has a good hand on a good grasp on how to handle the DCU. Uh, but I wasn't really excited for it, and then I watched Creature Commandos. I like, all right, I'm locked in. I'm gonna watch anything you put out, buddy, because it's really good. And Superman. Is something we haven't really seen in a long time since I guess you could count Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut, but really, Man of Steel was like the last real Superman, like just Superman film. So I am really looking forward to that. The new guy who's playing Superman looks pretty good. I know people were harping on him for that new trailer showing him flying around with like the weird eye thing. But David Corenswet is his name. He showed up in Twisters. I feel like I was the only person in the theater when watching Twisters with Glenn Powell. And then David Corenswet was there, and I was like, "Hey, everybody, that's Superman! Like that, he's gonna be Superman." I was like, I was really excited seeing him on the screen, and he was a pretty good actor. So I'm really looking forward to it. And Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor is just so good. And there's a lot of DC characters in there. I'm just really excited. And Crypto. If you like dogs, Crypto's and Superman. That was really fun saying. I feel like James Gunn's gonna nail it on the head with that one. And for number three, I think it's gonna be 28 years later. 28 years later, directed by Danny Boyle and written by Alex Garland, the director of Civil War that came out recently, and he did the original 28 Years Later, I believe. No, I didn't. No, Danny Boyle directed the original 28 Days Later, and you know, uh, it was also written by Alex Garland. But so they're collabing again in their same positions. So the trailer was one of the best trailers I've seen in a long time, especially for horror. Really, really good. It was also shot all on iPhone. It's pretty interesting. I mean, it looked really well shot, and I wouldn't. Could have fooled me. I didn't know it was shot in iPhone. Uh, it has like an entire kit on it, so it won't look like um, it was shot on iPhone because it has like it has stabilizers, it has a bunch of mics hooked up onto it, a grip. Like some people say, oh, then it wasn't really shot on iPhone because look at all the stuff on it. Well, like the image quality is like and everything, it's the same. It's just, of course, you're not gonna stick with the microphone that's coming out of the iPhone, you know. So it looks really good. It looks really cool. Um, Aaron Taylor Johnson, pretty good actor. I saw him in Nosferatu. Hopefully, he can get out of this rut he's in. Like Craven the Hunter, that was not good. I feel like he's been hit and miss for his films, but this looks promising. I don't know how good it'll be. Uh, I hadn't seen the second one. I did see 28 Days Later. I haven't seen 28 Weeks Later. I will need to watch that. I don't know how connected they will be, but I would definitely need a refresher. Um, for number three, no, number four, I had to say it's probably going to be Avatar: Fire and Ash. I'm really looking forward to Avatar. Um, I I always give James Cameron. I always have hope for James Cameron. I really like and respect his craft, and they look super super cool and they're entertaining. You know, uh, people joked on Avatar: The Way of the Water, but once again it broke a billion. It didn't make as much as the first one, but it was really 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 good. Avatar: Fire and Ash has an interesting plot because it seems to be ripping off Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not really, but it says, "Oh, we're gonna have air nomadic tribes, and the fire people or the fire tribes of the Na'vi are going to be like the bad guys." I'm like, I wonder where I've heard that before. But Avatar: Fire and Ash, the third Avatar film, I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna watch it in IMAX, of course. And if it comes out in 3D, I'm gonna watch it in 3D because I feel like that's one of the few films in 3D that like actually incorporates it and like actually looks really cool. Uh, and then who knows when the fifth one comes out, or no, the fourth one. Who knows how the fourth one's gonna? I think they're making five. I think five is like the total slate for Avatar films, which is crazy. Um, but he's got two in the bag. Whether you like it or not, the the first one obviously made the most money and was well received. Second one, even though when it didn't do as big, still broke a billion and was well received. So what are you going to complain about? And I think for fifth, most looking forward to, I'd have to say, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Fantastic Four, First Steps. I wasn't originally going to have that anywhere near my list, but after watching the trailer, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I don't know. It just looks really interesting. I wasn't really sold on the cast being portrayed as the titular characters of Fantastic Four. Reed Richards, uh, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, uh, Ben the Thing. I don't know what his last name is, um, but it looked really good. It looked really promising. I like the retro style, so honorable mention to that. But I think number five. Um, I think it's gonna have to be Mission Impossible, uh, The Final Reckoning. Um, I really liked um, the Dead Reckoning Part One. No longer Part One. It's just Dead Reckoning, I guess now. Uh, I really liked it. It didn't do as well in the box office. I feel like it had a tough time because I think it was released like less than a month away from Oppenheimer and Barbie. So that wasn't a smart move. I don't know why they didn't shift it around, but and it also hindered the fact that it was a part one, so it was not complete. So, and the marketing wasn't good, so it didn't bomb per se, but it did not do well, especially compared to Fallout. And but I really, but I really liked it. I had a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the final reckoning of Mission Impossible. Uh, Tom Cruise running, doing crazy stunts, risking his life. Uh, Simon Pegg bantering with the rest of the crew. I really like it. Really looking forward to it. And that one looks like it is worth seeing on the IMAX screen, even though they didn't film the last one in IMAX. But Tom Cruise, whatever you're doing, man, I'm gonna watch it. Really looking forward to it. And I think Tom Cruise is also was it Tom Cruise? I don't know if Tom Cruise was going to be in a film with uh, Iñárritu, the Alejandro González Iñárritu, the director of The Revenant and Birdman. Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I think that director, Alejandro González Iñárritu, um, he's making a new film with Tom Cruise, and it's like, so I'm assuming it's gonna be pretty serious. So that movie could be the movie where Tom Cruise really starts getting into like his serious, not serious, but his non-action films, like really testing the range of his acting uh, skills. Because I feel like we haven't had a grounded film that really focuses on character with Tom Cruise as the lead. Not since like the 90s and 80s, like when he was in Born on the Fourth of July, A Few Good Men, what have you, or Rain Man, like those films. I feel like it'd be a good moment for him to finally win his Oscar. But we have Mission Impossible, and I'm all for it, and I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot of films coming out that I'm looking forward to. That was just my top five. We got Warfare, also directed, not directed by Alex Garland. I think it's co-direct. He's involved in it somehow. Uh, Sinners by Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther. Thunderbolts honestly looks kind of good. I really looking forward to that one. But um, we got a lot to look forward to this year. It's a good year for movies. Regardless, I'm gonna be watching movies um, because that is my jam. Next week, I think I'll be watching Captain America: Brave New World. So look forward to that. I'll give my review on it. I'm not really looking forward to that one. I have a lot of doubts, but I am. There are some things that I'm interested in seeing where the MCU is now, how Harrison Ford is going to, you know, be Harrison Ford in an MCU film. I feel like he's in a place where he's like, I don't care, just give me the money. I'll do whatever it takes. I mean, he looks like he's having a good time, I guess. But yeah, I do not know how that one's gonna go. The trailers look okay. There was that one scene, that a clip that came out that people really don't like, and I was kind of iffy on. It looks like it was shot for a television show. I don't know why they added a grain in all the trailers. They're going for like a retro political thriller action movie, which I get. It's just the grain is just a really interesting choice. I don't have high hopes because the director is also the same director who directed Cloverfield Paradox. That was not a good movie. Uh, it was interesting. I mean, the directing style is, it was all right. It wasn't the worst thing. It was mainly just the writing and just where it fit in the Cloverfield uh, universe of films. So we'll see. I'll put that review out for you guys if you want to hear my thoughts on it. And that's basically what the rest of this podcast is going to be. I'm going to watch movies. I'm going to recommend them. I'm going to tell you to watch them or not. Um, and I won't watch every movie. I'll only watch the movies that I genuinely have interest in, which are a lot. But if Morbius is coming out, or the live action How to Train Your Dragon is coming out, I'm sorry if you're looking forward to that. I just think remakes with no interesting take on the original, or any interesting deviation, or if I see that they're not trying to do anything interesting or new from like an original when it comes to sequels or remakes, I'm not watching it. I learned my lesson with Lion King, and I'm not gonna do that again. It just looks exactly the same. We already have three perfect films, so go watch those. Go watch those movies. You can do what you want with your money, but if you want my opinion, it looks like you won't be missing out much. Because if you want something that's more serious, I feel like you already have a problem there because animation is a medium, not a genre, and not something specifically made for kids. Because those are really well made movies. Roger Deakins helped with cinematography. I don't know in how in what capacity, but Roger Deakins, the Oscar-winning cinematographer, worked on the original How to Train Your Dragon movie. So you really can't do any better than that. Um, so I won't watch every movie. If I either hear good things or I personally am interested in it, I'll watch it. Like I have a list of like 20 movies that I want to watch simply because I want to watch them. So we'll see how that goes. And like I said, it won't just be film reviews. Um, Maybe if something big comes up that's topical, that's something I can talk about. Um, I'll post a video. I'll post an episode. Um, like the Oscars, but it won't. I'll try to make this streamlined more into like a, hey, a movie came out. What are your thoughts about it? What are your thoughts on it? And that's basically what I'll do. But again, we'll see. Um, my name's Edgar. I will be posting probably at least 2 to 3 episodes every month. Well, it depends on how many movies I watch that month or what happens in that time frame. Um, you can listen to me on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, or hopefully, if this video thing ended up working in the end, I'll post the episodes on YouTube as well. Um, Please give it a like, support. Um, and stick around if you like watching movies, if you want to hear someone talk about a movie, if you want to feel somewhat validation from liking a movie and like, all right, is it really good or was I just crazy or was I nuts? But no matter what happens, I'll watch movies, we'll talk about them, and I'll recommend them. So go watch that movie, whatever it is. I don't have a movie to recommend you right now. How to Train Your Dragon. Let's stick with that. Go watch that movie if you haven't seen it yet, or if you want a refresher and catch up. That's a great movie. The original How to Train Your Dragon. Go watch that one, not the remake. It's my opinion. Um, but this is the Watch That Movie podcast, and I'll see you next time. See ya.